What is Of Music and Men?
Of Music and Men is a scripted drama comedy television series created by me, Kayona Ebony Brown, that chronicles the life of a young, single female entrepreneur and her experiences with men as she tries to succeed in the music business and in love in the most unlikely town for either, which is Washington, D.C. It is loosely based on my own life. For the last 5 years, I've run a burgeoning record company called the Brownstone Recording Company. I have one artist, Khalil Ismail. Owning a label has been a dream of mine since I was a kid. I was a DJ ever since I was like 6 years old. But by the time I was in high school, I became fascinated by the idea of actually taking part in the creation of the music and the business behind it, rather than just playing that which was already made. Russell Simmons was like my idol. Like, I really wanted to be like Russell. And I modeled my hustle after Puffy, reading his story and everything. And I always saw being a part of the music industry from a business perspective being a part of my story. My first novel, which, don't even ask, I have no plans of publishing ever. At least that's what I say now. But the first story was about a college girl named Kenya Shaw who wanted to run her own record label. I wrote it when I was in like 10th grade. It was about 300 pages, and that was a Word document, like 300 Word document pages. It was crazy long. In 10th Letter, which is my debut novel, Kenya Shaw was a minor character. She was one of Jay's friends, but readers were introduced to her as a 30-year-old young woman whose record company was actually starting to do pretty well. I always wanted to do a television show, but never really thought I had an idea that I could run with. But in January of 2012, it hit me. It hit me like a bag of rocks. When I came across an article that read, check this out, D.C. is the city with the highest number of same-sex relationships and the lowest marriage rate in the country. And I thought to myself, I guess in order for a single girl to find love, she might have better luck, finding a single girl. Although it wasn't an option personally. That was it. That was the show. Using the friendship of uniquely different people, Kenya, along with her two single female friends, Ty and Jay, all of whom are from 10th Letter, will help us understand why the latter part of this statistic exists while we watch Kenya struggle to make it as a businesswoman. All of this is happening in D.C., a city not known for the music business and apparently not known for love. D.C. is actually an integral character because of this. No other city in this world is as stereotyped as D.C. So this show aims to say to the rest of the world, hey, look, we're not just a bunch of white-collar political yuppies. We have the same problems as you do.
Where'd the title come from?
The title comes from a stanza in the Robert Burns poem, To a Mouse. It goes, "The best laid schemes of mice and men go often awry, and leave us nothing but grief and pain for promised joy." Can't the same thing be said about music and men? Also, I wanted a title that told you exactly what the show was about, without question, like Sex in the City. That show was about sex, and it was about the city. Obviously, the only city in the world that could simply be called the city without confusion, which is New York. This is a girl's tale of music and men, simply put.
What is the OMAM Fund?
The OMAM Fund is the Of Music and Men Fund. The goals are to generate support for the show, continually engage and build its audience, and connect the Of Music and Men brand to the corporate and consumer worlds by offering physical, digital, and virtual products along with business opportunities. In layman's terms, it's a self-sustained crowdfunding site and an e-commerce store, so people can not only support the show through donations, they can also buy merch.
Why not Kickstarter?
I looked at all of my friends who did Kickstarter campaigns. Some failed miserably, not even raising 1% of what they were asking for, and some succeeded in getting 100% or more. But all of them had one thing in common. They all told me about the experience and said that they would never ever do it again. I had read this case study about a college that was able to raise money in an ongoing capacity through various marketing tactics. So I wanted to create something similar where our supporters can get involved and stay involved with the show. So although I like the idea of Kickstarter, I hate the business model for me personally, which includes extremely high fees, a limited timeline, low stipulations for artists' credibility, and of course the all or nothing game. If you don't reach your goal, you get absolutely nothing, no matter how close you come. My business model is much more personalized to the business and marketing plan for this show, which allows for more involvement from my supporters and fundraising in perpetuity. I've always had an independent spirit with everything that I've done. If they could do it and create it and sustain it, why can't I? So in this instance, I created my own Kickstarter.
How involved were you in creating the OMAM Fund?
I say the following in an effort to discuss my heart as an entrepreneur, not to brag about doing everything myself, because I really wish that I could have been in position to create jobs for people who want to be copywriters or graphic designers or web designers and developers. But everything that you see on that site, I had to create. The logos, the products, the site itself, everything. It took much more time than I cared to admit, but you know what? It's done. It got done. So go to theomamfund.com and get involved.